I was the fourth. And then I had the polio, and and they didn't have children for 3 years. And then Tito Joey was born 3 years later. So then he had three other children. He had in when they were done, they had seven children,
It was
and I was the middle child.
so it's
So you
three
can
you,
imagine.
then three.
Yeah.
Oh, you're the
So my
sandwich.
fate, huh?
You're the sandwich.
I'm the middle child, and also the way his life. And I can only see this now that I'm older. You know, I can understand more what it's like to be working father who was having children every couple of years. But in my case, the what do you call that? The disadvantage, the trade-off was I had hardly any relationship in on a one-on-one basis with my father, and
Oh,
it
he
was something I missed because he
tough.
was just
He had to work.
he worked six
He had to work.
6.5 days a week.
I mean, just like what I'm feeling right now with him, like I feel like so much more. It's really like a desperation that to provide. That's really the feeling. So my
Yeah,
job
but
can.
it's not an excuse. This is my point. You know, I'm not criticizing him or blaming. It's just the way it turned out.
He
But
couldn't.
to be aware that I missed out on that, and I longed for that. This is also one probably why I would often act out. You know, trying to get his attention. But it's a combination of stuff, and everyone has their own story. But I wanted to mention it because in your case, when you came, subconsciously, without you know,
Realizing
actually,
it.
yeah, working it out and making a conscious decision. I decided that I should spend as much time as I can raising you. So, you know, eventually then I went into part-time work, and then I had my own independent consulting business because the regular hours would impede on that time that I felt I should be hands-on, basically. And your mom was always, you know, working. In fact, that was one of the probably one of the big conflict disagreements we had, you know, because for me that was what became it was very important, right? This relationship with the children and to foster that. But for your mom, her job was priority, and my disappointment would be that when she'd come home, let's say from a week in the States or a week, you know, a month in Europe or something, she would go out and party all the time, you know. So I spoke out about it, and we would have it was a point we disagreed on.
Yeah, it's a point of
Yeah, it's
contention.
not. I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. But it was it was a sticky point that we just couldn't. I couldn't get across to her, you know, and she couldn't also get across her
Oh yeah,
point of
no.
view because I just wasn't listening to that. But you can see now how important it is to be aware of the effects of a person's back up
their upbringing.
their upbringing,
Yeah, their
the
history.
values and so forth, or even the depth of their experience. Because you cannot say someone is really superior, or everyone is a human being, and everyone has to deal with their own, right? Whatever was the cards were dealt.
Yeah, you
they
play
deal with it.
the cards
Yeah,
you're
the
dealt.
important thing is I think what you will respect is somebody dealt with it the best way they could, with whatever understanding and level of experience or consciousness.
And I
I
understand
will
that.
respect that, right? But it's also very easy to see why different points of view will lead to disagreements.
But both of you were thinking about both of you were thinking about what's best for your kids. You were like, we need to spend time with them, and she's like, well, we need to
just the
provide, and also the thing that I realize now is that you two were a lot younger than I was when you started your
sure was.
family.
Well, I was young
I'm
also.
you two are definitely.
Well,
I'm
no, definitely.
older now.
We were half your age.
And this is exactly. So I
We
think
were just
about
kids.
Oh yeah, I think about myself when I was in my
It's
early
the
20s,
main-
and I was an idiot. Like I didn't know anything about anything, but I felt
We had
like
no business
I had all the
having
answers.
fans,
You know, but that's regular for a lot of people to have kids around that age. That's kind of the progression,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So you graduate, go to college, then you get a job. That's been the blueprint for
But
decades.
it's precisely why
Then you start a
why
family,
go
settle
in there,
down.
Kids go in there and they're ignorant of what really they're getting into.
Yeah,
For one
you,
thing,
you have no idea.
Like in my case, my dad was a good man. I could say a hardworking guy. He loved my mother and provided for us. But I had no real deep relationship with him. So the whatever little I could get, I cherished. Little things like he used to tell me, always clean the back of your knee when you take a bath, like that.
That's good advice.
remember
That's
that.
good advice.
It's because the kids run around in shorts and they roll in the dirt.
And then you got libag back there. Yeah. You got all kinds of libag.
Things like that.
Yeah. And it's also very I don't know, it's very uncomfortable when you get sweaty back there. At least for me. And then I try to sleep sometimes, when it's really warm and I'm trying to go to sleep and I'm like, just go to sleep. And I'm like, I can't do this. I have to take a shower and wash behind my knees. And just once I do that and I'm so refreshed, then I can go to sleep. So there's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in that. I abide by that. Wash behind your knees.
The point is that, and this came to mind, I don't know why, recently. And I said, when I have the opportunity, I have to mention it to you. Because nowadays I'm like in this mode where I try not to leave things unsaid, especially if there's something good. It's something good to say.
Don't click. I'm recording. You're gonna that click will be
I'm
recorded
saying
for all eternity.
If
But
there's
yeah, no, you
something
should.
good to say to somebody, you say it.
You should.
Because
And we're
regardless,
family too. So we should be able to, be candid. Especially when it's very important.
When you're old, especially like me, and there's something to say, you say it now because you may not, that opportunity may not come around again. Especially with people you see and then you say, next time, like that. You don't really know if there will be a next time. So this is where it becomes a little bit, it can be uncomfortable, because you'll say something, it may not be within the context of what's going on. But still,
Yeah, no, I
Say
understand.
somebody, you know, someone, a good person, you tell them that you are aware that they're a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, I understand. My whole thing, like I said, right now, my overriding feeling about parenting him is that I have to provide. I have to provide mainly financially, and
Well,
that's
just
like
be
I have
aware.
to. I am. It's,
There are other.
you know, there's when I did that 20-hour shift, and then I came home and he was already asleep. I was like, man, that's the day. Like, I'm not. I think he might have. Maybe he woke up or something, and I carried him a little bit, and I was able to put him back to sleep like right away. But, you know, that's one day. That's like one day in the books, and, you know, like I said, the way I describe it is like I only see him at nights and on the weekends, like a weird divorce custody. But we're not divorced.
No, yeah, and
You know?
besides,
So it's like-
you know,
But
it's a partnership.
yeah, she does a lot. Like
Yeah.
I've already told her, and I admit that she does a lot of the heavy lifting.
But
You know, especially during the day, and I just need to, you know, I need to secure my career,
But you
and
got
I need to provide, you know,
got
for
to
my
find,
family.
You gotta find time for him.
Oh yeah, I have a plan.
And
Let me just say,
talking.
I call it.
Always have a
I have a
plan,
plan.
and you never
I call
explain
it.
the plan
I call it
to
the
me.
plan. This is the plan. Look around you. This is the plan, and the plan is
You don't
working.
tell me the plan till it's already the plan.
Yeah, well, I
No.
can't. I can't reveal the plan, otherwise it might jinx the plan. But I have a plan.
Besides,
This is all the plan. And when he gets older, you know, my part of my plan is he's going to wake up early
you
with
want to
me,
be,
and
you want
know,
to be
we're gonna-
buddies also.
yeah, a bit.
So in other words, it's not just that. It's not necessarily that you have to be constantly,
Parenting.
yeah, interacting. But at times that the opportunity is there. Be aware of what his need is. You know, and the opportunity to address that need.
Yeah, I
There,
plan to, you know,
yeah.
I plan
Which is
to.
he wants to know you.
Yeah.
And besides being the oldest, he's going to have a different kind of upbringing.
Yeah,
Than
it's
the
gonna
others.
be all the responsibility on him.
He'll be interacting with adults most of his life. And then he'll be the big brother if they're when. Right?
Yep. Any minute now. So, you know, I understand, and I always hear that. That's the advantage I feel of being of being an older parent, is you always hear, because I ask advice a lot from parents, and a lot of times, you know, they're these guys who they had their kids in their 20s, and they, you know, they come and they look at you like the ghost of Christmas future, like, oh my God, it
Yeah.
goes by so fast.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they got this
They're
look
your
on this
age,
face,
but
like they're just,
their
it's
kids
all
are
gone.
already
You know,
graduated
yeah, it's
from high school.
exactly, and you know, but being an older parent, I can learn from that, and I have been learning from that, and I do.
Well,
I
you
spend
can have
all
a
every
deeper- you can
every
have
second
a-
that I have. You know, I want to be there with them. I try not to be on my phone. I'm not
can have a-
taking
a
pictures
deeper,
too. You know, I really want to just
Sense
be
of
with him.
awareness than someone who's in their 20s.
yeah. And now I'm
Yeah.
I'm more ready now.
You have a deeper kind of relationship.
Yeah, and all the partying thing, that's out of my system already. But it took like till I was 38.
See, young couples have to go
think
through
about that.
also.
I waited basically till the last possible minute. Like, but I was messing around, going to clubs and bars till well into my 30s, till I was almost 40, and then I started asking myself, you know, like, what the hell are you? How much longer are you gonna do this? You know, like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you've been doing this for years now. Like, you know, how is this gonna be 5 years, 10 years? Like, you know, how about you do something else? That was kind of like the brutal honesty. And now, you know, that's I've already put that aside, but it took a lot of time. It took a lot of time to just, you know, to get that out of my system. So that's that's one more, that's another advantage. But I think about that, and I know like there's gonna be something, you know, he's gonna be critical of me about probably a lot of things.
Well, what
But,
you'd like to
you know.
do is to be able to talk openly with him so that he continues to have an open relationship with you. Diba? So he will see you more. He will see you as a confident and a buddy that he can actually, talk about any intimate thing.
Yeah,
That's what you want
that's the
to
whole
hear,
thing.
right?
Yeah,
You want
exactly.
him to be talking about
We're family.
his own relationships and how,
We're family. You know, I'll always be there for you,
diba?
no matter what.
Diba?
That's what family is all about.
Very intense way of looking. I think
That's what family is all about. Will always be here for you. No matter what your problem
Must
is
have been very tough.
how hard life hits you, we'll always be here for you to help you.
besides now that both parents are often working, the role of the father and mother are already merged. Diba? They're interchangeable in many ways.
Yeah, exactly. Like I do, feeding. Like when I get home, I do the chores. You know, I do the housework, and that's fine. And you know, I can give Carmen a little break. Yeah.
And then
But yeah, it's
you like
teamwork.
You like pacifier.
Yeah, I think it's pacified.
Yeah, pacifier.
It's a good name for that thing. What should we call this thing? A pacifier.
You like pacifier. It's only good up to 1 year old,
Yeah, and then after that, you're gonna have to chew your hand or whatever or your other toys.
Not to scare you or anything. Oh, sorry.
It's alright. It's okay.
Right? 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 You like pacifier?
Look how cute naman. But yeah. It's
So it's different.
It's a
For
trip,
example,
man.
my
It's a trip.
relationship with my dad is different from Tito Joey's relationship.
So it was
In fact,
Tito Vic, Tito Ben, Tito
Linda.
Lynn, you, then
then Joey. Then there was a 3-year gap
then
between us, Tito Joey, and then Patty and Cynthia. So there are 3 more. Which is really, you can imagine yourself when you're like already middle-aged, diba? Then your 4 kids are already gone from the house and you have 3 more. So you're already this mellow couple, right? And you're kicking back already. You know how to deal with these situations,
Yeah.
diba? You're all
You
very
become a
relaxed.
pro parent at that point.
And so the effect was he had a different relationship with the 3 youngest because he was different also,
he was
He
like a
became
lot
quite
more chilled out.
religious. Yeah, he became quite religious. He tried to spend more time with them, and he was able to because he was already more senior also in his work. So he had assistants now doing all this running around. and they turned out to be really good people, right? That's what I'm saying. You know, if they stopped at 4 and then I was the youngest, then the three who are the youngest, who the angels of the family, you know, the three angels, the best of the lot, you know, came out last. So
Yeah, 7 kids is that. Yeah, the 7 kids. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that kind of
it's
what
a very
you must.
big family nowadays. But during my time, that was kind of an average, 5 to 7. So, we had
The baby
families
boom.
with 12 and 13 children, you know. And
Yeah,
I knew
they
some
got
of
this-
these.
Yeah,
Oh boy, yeah.
That's
The
what they
whole
call it.
basketball
Yeah.
team right there. In fact,
your
one
whole,
family,
your whole, yeah.
they're 12. They
offensive
did
line.
have a basketball court in their backyard. You know, a full court with 2 goals because there are so many boys in their family.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's one way to keep them busy.
Like,
You can have a whole offensive line.
yeah. It's
Defense.
different, but nowadays, you know, your generation, if you have 1 or 2, that's already an
Well,
average
nowadays, it's
family.
even if you even have one,
Yeah.
so many people are like deciding not to have kids.
The
Well, you
pendulum
know,
has
like
swung.
little Sonia, they worked hard to bring her into the world.
Was it IVF?
I don't know. I don't know what the final solution was.
Final
Definitely.
solution: get rid of all the Jews. It's the final solution.
No,
Get it.
you know,
Anyway,
Judy, she
Oh.
turned vegetarian. She did a lot of stuff. She changed her lifestyle basically in the effort, you know. And then eventually, Sonia came, and it's like a little miracle. Right? And then
she
this
really
guy-
is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it was
yeah,
very.
they
I don't know
struggled.
if I described to you like when I walked into the suite, the kind of what ended up being the clubhouse for the reunion, and you know, and everyone was in there. It was kind of
11:15.
like it was like how I imagine maybe like the afterlife being like, you know, all like, oh hey,
Yeah,
it's that guy, like oh it's you,
Yeah.
and you know, it's just really, it was because I hadn't seen him in so long, just a really great moment. So I kind of like I went in, said hi to a few people, and then after several people, I was like, hey, where'd everyone go? Kind of like a little second, and I turned around and everyone was just swarmed around Carmen and and little Optimus here, and they were just like, oh, hello, and you know that I took a picture of that. Everyone just, you know, kind of orbiting around him, and you know it was it was a good moment. It was a fine time.
Well, that
It
was
was a
kind
fine
of
time.
a real blessing, you know, to have that. In fact, I'm suggesting next year again, but it never, hardly ever I've seen this type of occasions you're able to reboot.
Yeah, it's
know.
really tough.
Yeah. No, typically in the next time you'll get like half the people there. But I was suggesting we do it in Vancouver next year.
Oh, that would be
You know,
fun.
that would be nice.
Yeah, and do the slideshow
Same
again.
thing, like a 4-day weekend or something,
hopefully we'll
and then
have
you have, yeah.
Another kid to like listen.
Yeah.
Besides, the weather's much better there in August. We don't get these kinds of heat waves that you guys get. So then, anyway, I was suggesting that.
Yeah.
And I said, let's put it out there real early, because then more people can start
Plan
to
ahead,
Plan,
yeah.
yeah. And, you know, set their schedules. Maybe
Yeah.
Carla and Anne-Marie.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, and the slideshow. We should. The slideshow needs to be a thing every time, just as a, even as a reminder of, you
Yeah.
know, of
Davison
all of
hasn't
that
sent out the
information.
Copy of that yet, right?
The
Of the slideshow. I know she was gonna like.
No,
email.
you have to ask Tita Sim.
Yeah.
She's the one who prepared that. And she was, I think she needed to make some corrections to whatever data was there. So I wanted to say, Tito Ben, coming all the way from Bangkok, and then coincidentally Camille was also there from Boston. So they made it was a special event in having all of us,
Indeed.
all six of us remaining. But I don't know if we can have our own little one, right? You
Yeah.
guys come over in August around your Lola's birthday.
That would be nice to
And,
travel.
Yeah, take a long weekend, 4 days or even however long you want. A whole week, we'll get our own little apartment there.
It'd be
Canada,
cool.
eh?
Yeah,
It'd be cool
I
because
gotta-
once he'll start walking by then and then go hiking or something.
you may need to anyway. But
I
then
gotta
you
change
may
him.
need to get him a passport or
Pasaporte.
yeah.
Yeah, the passport's
So you
really
can
easy
plan.
for when they're this little.
Well, we have all his paperwork. I'm gonna change him. I gotta change him. Or do you want to change him? Yeah, go ahead. Spend time with him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to
He's sleepy. He should have napped like an hour ago.
Yeah.